All right, welcome. Today, we're basically going to be doctors for your warehouse. We're going to grab a clipboard, put on the white coat, and really diagnose those sneaky little problems that are costing you a ton of time and money.
So let's just jump right in with a pretty big question. What if your warehouse, the very building you're standing in, is actually working against you? I know, it's a tough thought, but figuring that out is absolutely the first step to making things better.
Okay, first things first. Let's get on the same page with some terms. You'll hear warehouse flow a lot. All that means is the journey your products take, right? From the second they hit the receiving dock to the moment they're shipped out. If that path is smooth and direct, you're efficient. If it's a winding, crazy mess, well, you're just burning cash.
And you can't talk about flow without talking about its partner in crime, slotting. Now, this is so much more than just finding an empty spot on a shelf. Slotting is the strategy, the science, really, of putting every single item in the perfect place to make that journey we just talked about as short and as fast as humanly possible.
Okay, so we've got the lingo down. Now, let's play doctor for real. How do you actually know if your warehouse is, sick? Well, you start by looking for the symptoms.
Just look at this list for a second. Does any of this sound familiar? You got constant traffic jams at the packing station. Do your pickers feel like they're training for a 10K every single shift? Or, and this is a classic, are your absolute best-selling items way up on the top shelf, in the back corner? Yeah, those are massive red flags.
And this right here just lays it all out, doesn't it? On one side, you've got a smooth, profitable operation. On the other, you've got a system that's just hemorrhaging money because of wasted time and effort. The difference is night and day, and it hits your bottom line hard.
So seeing the symptoms is one thing, right? But any good doctor will tell you you have to diagnose the actual disease. So why is all this happening in the first place?
And you know what? The answer is usually pretty simple. Most of these problems come from a lack of any real plan. A lot of warehouses just grow. New stuff comes in, and you just put it wherever there's space. That random slotting might work for a week, but over time, you end up with a complete mess that's actively fighting against your own team.
Okay, but here is the really good news. You do not need to shut down for a month and do a massive overhaul to see some real improvement. There's some super effective first aid you can apply, like right now.
Seriously, think of these 4 things as your warehouse emergency kit. That golden zone idea, just putting your best sellers in that easy-to-reach spot between your waist and your shoulders, that's a total game changer for speed and for your team's backs. And something as simple as making sure your inbound and outbound traffic aren't crashing into each other, that can clear up congestion instantly.
First aid is awesome. It stops the bleeding. But for real long-term health, you need a proper treatment plan. So let's talk about the strategies that build a system that's not just fixed, but truly efficient for the long haul.
And the absolute foundation of any good long-term strategy is admitting one simple truth. Not all of your products are created equal. They're just not. And that's where ABC slotting comes in. It's a really smart way to give your products priority based on how often people actually buy them.
This table breaks it down perfectly. Your A items, these are your superstars, the top 20% of products that probably bring in 80% of your sales. They get the beachfront property, the best spots, right near shipping. Your C items, the ones that just sit there for months, they get put in the nosebleed seats. It's all about making your layout reflect your actual sales patterns.
And from there, you can just keep building. A U-shaped flow is great because it creates this natural, circular journey. Reviewing your setup every few months, make sure you don't fall back into old habits. Oh, and standardized pick paths, that's like giving your team Google Maps for the warehouse. No more wrong turns or backtracking.
Okay, so this is all great in theory, but how do you actually do it? Let's turn all this knowledge into a real action plan. And it's all built around 3 simple questions every single warehouse manager should be asking themselves.
Question number 1, are your products getting lost somewhere between receiving and shipping? If you're seeing constant pileups, your whole flow is probably clogged up. So let's get it unblocked.
Here's your 4-step plan to clear that traffic jam. Mapping out the product's journey is like using a traffic app. It shows you exactly where the slowdowns are. Once you see the bottleneck, you can create things like staging areas. Think of them as off-ramps and enforce some simple traffic rules to keep everything moving.
All right, next up. That horrible moment when you realize your absolute best-selling product is on the top shelf in the furthest corner of the warehouse. What do? It's time to launch a targeted reslotting mission.
The most important thing to remember here is that this isn't guesswork. You use your data to find your VIP products. Then you give them the VIP treatment.
the best locations. And then, and this is crucial, you measure the difference. You show everyone, hey, we just cut picker walking time by 30%. That's how you get buy-in to do even more.
And finally, let's tackle the big one. How do you make sure your warehouse stays efficient? Not just for this month, but next year and the year after that, even as your products and seasons change.
This right here is your blueprint for building a warehouse that can adapt and evolve. The ABC model is your foundation. Dynamic slotting, if your WMS can handle it, makes that system smart and self-adjusting. And thinking about ergonomics, like putting heavy stuff at waist height, that's not just about speed, that's about keeping your team safe and healthy, which is the ultimate long-term win.
At the end of the day, it really all comes down to this. This isn't just about being neat and tidy. A clear, logical flow is literally the engine of your whole operation. Get it right, and you'll fulfill orders faster and increase your capacity, all without having to build a bigger building.
So to wrap this all up, listen, don't get overwhelmed. Don't try to do everything at once. Just look back at those quick wins we talked about. What is the one thing, the one simple change you can implement tomorrow? Maybe it's just moving your top 10 sellers. Maybe it's just putting some tape on the floor to create a one-way path. Whatever it is, just start there. That's how you begin the journey to a much healthier and much more efficient warehouse.